Hi, I'm Forrest with KayakProShop.com, and today we're going to talk a little bit about selecting the proper paddle. And all the pieces of gear you're going to acquire over the years, your paddle is by far the most important to make sure you get correct. The reason being is while you're out there on the water, of course, your paddle is going to serve as your engine, so you want to make sure that you're optimizing your engine for you to be out on the water longer, so you're experiencing less fatigue and less stress on your joints. So today we're going to go over a couple of things that are going to help you make an informed decision. First off, you want to choose the proper blade shape to match what you're going to be doing out on the water, and that comes into play when we're talking the realm of touring. We have two schools. We have low angle, which has we're paddling, our top hand isn't going any higher than our shoulder, and we have high angle in the touring application where our top hand is typically about our brow line. In whitewater, we have the two schools are going to be river running and play boating, and in stand-up paddleboarding, the two schools are going to be high cadence versus low cadence, or flat water versus the surf. So the first step is going to be the shaft selection. It's easy to see that this, of course, is a straight shaft, the most popular configuration you're going to see as you progress as a learner. Most kayak classes, most kayak rental facilities will use straight shaft paddles. The upside to the straight shaft is it's going to be lighter than a bent shaft paddle, and it's going to be a little more affordable than a bent shaft paddle. Straight shaft paddle, as you can see, as I take my stroke, have my hand out here forward for my catch. The biggest difference between this and a bent shaft is you can see I have a little bit of a giddy up here in my wrist, where that it's just not quite in line. Folks with repetitive use injuries may experience a little bit of sensitivity in their wrist when using a straight shaft paddle. So if you're one of those paddlers, or if you're spending a lot of time or plan on spending a lot of time in your boat over the years to come, strongly recommend a bent shaft paddle. A bent shaft, as you can see, has a significant bend in the shaft of the paddle. You're going to place your hand right in the apex of the bend, so right here. Now, as you can see, as I reach forward for my catch, my wrist is now in proper alignment, so I'm putting less stress on those smaller tendons and ligaments in my wrist, allowing me to stay on the water longer with more comfort. Okay, so we talked about straight versus bent. Let's talk a little bit about the diameter of the paddles. In this day and age, you know, manufacturers, be it from paddles to computers, like to give us a lot of choices, and that's because there's such a great variation between person to person. I happen to be a larger statured paddler, so when talking about shaft diameter, we have two choices. We have the standard diameter and we have a small diameter. And you know, using your common sense, you know, a smaller statured paddler is going to want to use a smaller diameter shaft, whereas a larger statured paddler is going to want to use a standard diameter shaft. If you don't really know where you're going to fall, there is a kind of an empirical way to figure it out. Werner Paddles has come up with a fit guide, and part of that guide outlines some measurements. One of those measurements is going to help you decide whether you're a small or a standard shaft paddler. If you take a measurement from the base of your palm here to the tip of your middle finger, and it's greater than 7 inches, you should be paddling with a standard diameter paddle. If you take a measurement from here, the base of your palm to your middle finger, and it's 6.5 inches or less, then you're a small diameter shaft. If you're in between 6.5 or 7, the school of thought is there. You can go either way. So diameter is a function of stature along with blade size. You can see in this paddle here, this is a full-size blade. This is a lot of surface area, so this is going to be for a medium to large statured paddler. Most cases who are pretty darn fit, just because this is going to require a lot of energy to draw through the water. So it's important not only to match the shaft diameter and shaft length, but also the blade size.